Hey, this is Guevara from thirstingfortruth.com. Many of you have probably already seen my conversion story, but if you haven't, I'd recommend you watch that video first before you watch this one. You can click on the link below, or you can find it on the website. As you know, my bride and I had a promise to save our very first kiss for marriage. Really, it was her promise, and I was kind of forced to accept it. But that promise did wonders for me, and eventually it became my promise too. Saving our first kiss for marriage helped me to kick some really bad habits and started changing me into a better man. That sacrifice was a crucial part of our relationship, and it's one of the things that makes our story so beautiful. We are now on a mission to help people achieve the greatness for which they were created. Every person was created by God with a great story in mind. We know this instinctively. We all know that we were destined for greatness. And oftentimes we settle for much less. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to settle. You can have a great story like ours. Each and every one of you is capable of that. So what does it take to make your story great? Well, it starts with the willingness to sacrifice. You see, another word for sacrifice is love. And the great story that we were all meant for is a love story. I'm not talking about the typical Hollywood love story. I'm talking about the kind of stories that become legendary. I'm talking about the stories that include great self-sacrificial love. You were meant for that kind of story, and we want to help you achieve it. That's why we created this Worth the Wait campaign. You know, in the past I used to give my testimony and then I would tell people, you don't have to do anything so crazy or so radical as to give up your first or your next kiss for marriage. Maybe I was afraid that I would turn them away by offering them such a difficult, unappealing sacrifice. But I now realize that I was doing them such a disservice, because the day that I took on that promise was the day that my life began to change dramatically for the better. That promise is a big part of who I am today, and it's what makes our story such a great witness. That promise was a major act of sacrificial love, and it's how I expressed to Diane that I truly loved her, and I wasn't just interested in her for her body. I now have a daughter, and because of that promise, when she grows up I can tell her how much I loved her mom and what I was willing to sacrifice for her. And then I can be a witness to her to say, this is the kind of man that you deserve. This is the kind of love that you deserve and that you were designed for. And you don't have to settle because your mother didn't settle. I now believe that God has tasked me with the mission to raise up an army of people who are willing to help me change the world by taking on that same promise. That's right. I believe that saving your first or your next kiss for marriage has the power to change the world. Together we're going to create strong, holy families by teaching our youth, our young adults, and our children what it takes to make their story great. And we're going to do that by being living witnesses of a great love story. You were meant for greatness, and you should never settle for anything less. I was so wrong thinking that no one else out there wanted to take on the same promise. Since releasing my conversion video, I've had a number of people contact me to let me know that they are saving their next kiss for marriage. I want to gather all of you into a community of people who are ready to proclaim with me to the world that they are worth the wait. Send me an email at marcus@thirstingfortruth.com. Send me a video response. Let me know on Facebook and on Twitter that you are worth the wait. Lastly, visit thirstingfortruth.com/thepromise for more resources to help proclaim this message to the world. In the words of the to-be saint Pope John Paul II, do not be afraid. Do not settle for mediocrity. Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. It won't be easy, but I promise you, it'll be worth the wait.